Hey everybody. Good afternoon, citizens of the world. This is your regular music guy coming in. Hello everybody. This is Sheree coming in to you. I try to come in weekly, you know, um, and I'll be deciding which day. I like Wednesdays because I want to make sure that I'm on my regular scheduling and I'm not getting too encumbered and entrenched with work where I can't even recognize, okay, I need to get over the hump, you know. But I also like my Thursdays too and my Fridays, right? So I may be coming to you guys should be watching out for my videos one of those 3 days weekly. Um, with my tips usually on wholeness and wellness in the environment and, personal ability, personal responsibility, right? Um, I'm not gonna lie, this has been a pretty tough week for me. I will be honest, I'm not one to hide in the shadows to how I'm feeling, what's going on in my life, um, or, try to like create this mirage or facade about how I'm doing, um, for social media or the outside world. I'm a pretty transparent person. So, that the things that I focus on are all about transparency, whether it be music, education, yeah, of course, music performance, environmental protection, personal well-being, right? Um, meditation, mediation. That's what I focus on is, um, connecting with the outside world. You know, um, one of the reasons why this week was kind of difficult for me, I'll admit, is because of the new teaching position that I've been in. So, as you all know, I'm a teacher. That's usually my framework, and leadership roles and responsibilities. But I've actually been a counselor for a year now, um, in behavior coaching, and as I mentioned, I'm also a certified mediator. I've been doing that for about 2 years, no, 3 years now actually. Been a counselor for a year, so I pretty much combine those strategies and finding really, sustainable options and healthy options for people, particularly students. Um, I'm also in the environmental services position now. The environmental services, urban forestry work to be specific. I shared a little bit about that, last week in my last video. Um, you'll probably want to check that out. It's right below under this live one in the live settings tab, where I'm describing the work that I'm doing, for the city with a really great organization called City Plant, that is partnered with the DWP, Department of Water and Power, in Los Angeles, um, City. So, I'm really excited about that work. It's not easy work. I will admit it's been a very healthy and welcoming challenge that I, want to make sure I commit myself to, for as long as I can, as long as they want to keep me, right? As an urban forester, or the other word you might see out there is called um, arboriculture. So I'm an arboriculturist. So, the urban forestry part comes in to where we understand that a lot of the disparity when it comes to trees and shade. I'm actually over here in one of my favorite locations to kind of relax and be at somewhat of a moderate rate of peace and, relaxation. Relaxation being that I'm at USC right now, and USC is right in the middle of the city, right? It's a very, um, industry-based commerce part of the city of the LA town, but uniquely because of obviously all of the money at USC, um, and infrastructure that they've developed, and of course the students constantly investing in it, being it's probably one of the biggest private schools. Um, they have a great landscaping here and great urban forestry here. It is probably the catapult of urban forestry being at USC, right? This is top tier um, environmental agency, if you will, and culture, arboriculture. Is the best sense of the word when you think about the fact that USC is in an urban setting. So yeah, and that's why being with city plants is not easy, but it's a challenge that I welcome and that I embrace. Bringing shade and forestry and canopy and habitats and all kind of diversity when it comes to the natural habitats to the city, right? Um, but anyway, that's not the point of this video today. The point of this video, and you'll see in the title, and I share with you, it's been a pretty rough week for me, getting back into counseling because being a counselor, I'm not as regular as a teacher anymore, and I will admit, I that's probably why I've been a little bit frustrated and been in a state of reflecting a lot because I haven't been teaching for about a year. I'm a teacher by trade. I teach music, um, and I also do a lot of writing too. So those are my strong suits, you know. And now that I have all this freedom, right? Two really great jobs. I will admit, I'm still doing okay, nothing like that, right? I don't have to worry about putting food on the table or anything like that. But the emotional component to doing environmental work isn't really talked about, you know. Um, I simply have not seen that. How our emotions are connected to the world around us, to our greater natural environment. Something that should be investigated more. I know for me, as someone who's really passionate about this stuff, um, I could do more work in making sure that my personal well-being is sought after and not compromised first before I extend myself to want to share these options. This is great stuff that I'm sharing, by the way, too. Let me share a little bit of my arbor folder so you can see. You can see. Look at this. I'm not kidding. But I'm also not complaining. See, that's the difference. Like, I'm not going to complain that about what I'm, you know, empowered to do. You know, um, this is what I want to do. You know, this is what I enjoy doing. I won't sugarcoat that. Um, that this is great work. It's a challenge, but um, it's not the most well-paying job. Probably why I'm sharing this so you all can support how you can. By the way, I'm a teacher. We all know that we don't. Teachers and are underpaid. We just had a teachers uh, protest and um, picketing, if you will, for the teachers to go on strike to demand more pay through the union, UTLA, United for Teachers LA Union, led that at City Hall. And I honestly wanted to go, but I didn't want to feel out of place in the sense that I haven't been teaching in a while in a traditional setting. Um, I am at a different level now, much more serious level now, to where I've seen some really bad stuff happen in the schools, and we have to call that stuff out. I am a counselor. I am a behaviorist, and the student's well-being is the number one concern on my end. And um, that's why I'm really happy I got this job as uh, as an arboriculturist, because it leaves pretty much no room for the excuses on my end, that I have to be honest about what actually is going on in these students' lives and their emotional, personal well-being, but also, most importantly, what works. Uh, it doesn't take a lot for me as a professional to, get in my car and just go take a hike somewhere, right? And and not only just that, that's kind of superficial, but to really know the methods that should be circulating in one's mind to make sure you don't get super stressed out, basically, or um, you're not on edge, and you'll know how to cope, right? You'll know how to deal with your feelings, basically. You know, I just get to turn on Nat King Cole, right? One of my, he's the king, right? I feel a whole lot better the stuff I've been seeing and the schools that I've been having to deal with, and trying to pitch this stuff to the citizens of LA. You know, um, so yeah, if you can support me, Cash App, uh, uh, you can Zelle me. You can always reach out to me. I even want to encourage people to follow me on Instagram, because I share a lot of events there, and I share a lot of resources on my social media, particularly my Instagram, um, which is pretty much a public page. I've made that as public outreach, and the organizations that I'm with. Many of my friends come from USC, which is probably another reason why I'm here. As a matter of fact, I'm going to take a bit of a walk before I log off, so you all can kind of get my point and see that this stuff helps everybody out, Um, just to kind of bring this back full circle, like, to show that, um, we don't want to take this stuff for granted, basically. Yeah, it's a private school that's right in the middle of the city. Um, and a lot of people don't have access to, like, this kind of green space that I'm about to share with you. And I'm walking in right now, right by the USC dorms, right? Well, actually, that's beside this lot. But anyway, and I used to actually work security for USC. They have dorm security here at USC, and I actually really enjoyed working there. Made a lot of great friends. Um, USC, USC gets a bad rep. I will admit, USC could, we could be a little bit more lighter, if you will, when it comes to the kind of nefarious activities that some of the alumni here and political leadership have been associated with. I won't get into that. People that are from here know what I'm talking about. But just to make sure I don't want to go too long, this green space idea, we have to really take it seriously, in the sense that it's not just about beauty. It's not just about beautification. It's about personal responsibility and your personal well-being, the emotional component. Because really, and I think that's why I titled it, environmental protection is emotional protection. I'm protecting myself. I'm protecting the resources that I have maintained in this city, particularly my real life connections with some of the smartest people in this whole wide world when it comes to advocating for science and, really trying to be the change that we all need, right? Because the global crisis is real. The educational crisis is real too, but obviously the global climate crisis is much more immediate and is something that can really cause detriment on our lives. One of the first videos I did when I first started kind of coming and sharing my thoughts with you all was a park that I was at. One of my favorite parks, Helen Keller Park, right there in West Athens where I grew up. You know, right by Gardena. I basically grew up by Gardena, and West Athens is basically in between Gardena and Watts. It's not the toughest place. It's not as tough as Watts and Compton, but it's still part of the South Central kind of regional area. And so that park was just really great leisure time for me to kind of like just kind of get out and see more green space, because even though I lived in a pretty nice community, we were a community that did not see equal access to shade and green space. I was just saying what's up to one of my, I don't know, he looks kind of familiar, but that's actually the security company that I used to work for, CSC, where we would protect the dorms. We were, tasked to watch the dorms here at USC, and it was pretty good money. But, this is much more serious and immediate work for me right now, which is conveying to you all that this component of our daily lifestyle is necessary. It's necessary in a lot of fronts. But, I'm just a regular old teacher out here trying to do my thing and have a really kind of good perspective of what it means to live a good life. So I want to travel a lot more. I want to see more green space, protect more environments, not just in California, even though I know we need a lot of work done here on the advocacy forefront. But, this is where YouTube comes in, obviously, So, I know there's a lot going on in the world to where planting trees may not be on the top of your list, right? But at the same time, I'm also looking at the distractions of the world. I was checking out Michael B. Jordan. I'm probably going to go see his movie, Creed 3. He's a great actor, very physical guy, very meditative, I guess I'm bringing up the celebrity component because I feel empowered and connected enough with my nice jobs and connections with the cities and my little bit of influence as a classical musician to say that, we actually need more from those guys, the celebrities. And to make sure that we hold them to the wire, hold their feet to the fire when it comes to representing this city, LA, and what we are all about. And it shouldn't just take tragedy. It shouldn't just take, a negative experience to want to motivate you. I've always been interested in the environment. And as a result of that interest, I've learned how the environment, the physical green space around me, can protect me and how it can protect others. That's why we have laws against that stuff, right? You've seen what Biden just did, which is a really bad decision. When you take into account the war and everything else with the Alaska pipeline and he's going to extend. I'm definitely not about to get into the politics of it right now. But the influence component is critical right now. I just want to emphasize that. I know Paris Hilton has been coming back. You all probably wonder, what does Paris Hilton have to do with protecting trees? Well, I'll tell you. It has to do with the fact that she's been a celebrity, and at least in my lifestyle, that has been around for many years. My lifetime, that has been around for many, many years. And, this is an elite woman, very beautiful woman. She's elite, rich, powerful, right? And her whole career has been predicated on the issue of what? Well, you see where I'm at a dorm, right? It's lifestyle and living is what she's focused on. And I guess she went through some stuff, and as a celebrity, high level celebrity that she is, she's writing now, and that's good to share with these younger up and coming celebrities what that world is really about. Because she was always going to be okay, right? She comes from an elite, wealthy family, and the triumph that she had to sustain and go through um, is indignant, ig- indicative, excuse me, on the environment, right? The kind of protection that she had. So, to draw all of that to a full circle, it's is a kind of phenomena that emerged last year on social media with the TikTok therapist. You all remember her trashing black men, right? I did a whole video on it too, where I was citing some of the manosphere gentlemen and scholars and leaders and advocates. Um, and there's no way you can defend what she was saying, obviously. But as I look at it now, we should have really been prepared for that kind of stuff. We should. Sure that YouTube is just done. I can pick up where I left off from if my phone died. Wow. My apologies, you all. Let me tell you, I get some really good opportunities for a teacher and an environmental specialist. But my tech savvy, I am not tech savvy. Like, my tech skills are horrible. So I'm lucky as far as the kind of work that I'm associated with. I just really don't pay attention to that kind of stuff. I don't really get too geeked out or like, I really get in my mode, as you all can tell. I think where I left off was very critical though, and recognizing that we really have to kind of strategize and implement our most useful tools and put our best foot forward when it comes to getting these issues out and challenging the status quo to recognize what's imperative for the disadvantaged communities. So, in other words, where I was going off on the celebrity tangent is making sure that we are getting our money's worth, basically, when it comes to how we catapult celebrity into society. And I won't be focusing on that on my channel. I promise you I won't. I know I've mentioned it a few times that I am aware and observant that, like, someone like me, right, who's not all the way in the entertainment industry, but I have, like, basically a foot in the door, being that I'm in the classical music world. Um, my viewers and supporters and subscribers and fans, if you will, of classical music have every right to want to know where I'm putting my resources, especially if they're going to be looking up to me in any kind of leadership role or position or um, uh, point of advocacy. And even my regular job description as a grade school teacher and counselor. I think that should be required. I know a lot of celebrities talk about that. YouTube people talk about that, and how we are going to advocate for our issues and not just be, um, put in the aether when it comes to these mega conglomerate forces. That's why I was talking about Paris Hilton, Michael B. Jordan, two celebrities I like. I think they're very fashionable people. But we could expect more when it comes to our issues and not inspirational movies or book deals. Not just that. I think those are important. Please don't take it as if I'm trying to target or pick on anyone. But I think there needs to be a more forceful approach to literally getting out there on the ground. And you guys just kind of saw me with some video interruption included, how I'm able to kind of ease out, um, issues and meditate and share some resources with you all. Case in point, using green space as a tool and approach. I think there's evidence out that when you're on green space and when you connect to trees, that's like taking penicillin or opioid. It's the equivalent of taking pain medication, being in the environment. So that's where you hear me say environmental protection is emotional protection, because it's a lot of literal toxicity in our environment, not just the workforce, right? I'm not. I won't even make this video about the workforce or even what I'm personally going through, even though I've already talked about that a little bit. I just really want to advocate on this time that I have on this stream, being that I'm at USC, such a great institution, and I have so many connections here. I've gotten so much political support, even heck, you know, um, through through such a great institution. Um, but it takes a lot more than using the institution. And I don't have all the answers. I just know I don't mind. I'm not afraid to get on the ground, be really that true grassroots advocate that I've always wanted to be. You know, the camp counselors I used to have that would take me in the Sierra Club, and when my grandmother worked in Watts, she had friends at the WLCAC, and they would always take me places and give me opportunities and resources that most students, quite frankly, weren't getting. I'll admit, and that's why I do this work, to make sure that I can be that true bearer of light. Today I was actually supposed to be at UCLA because my student, a case that I have right now, is a student that has a lot of emotional issues and some health issues, and he even has a bit of a disability impairment. Even though this kid is he's such a really great, and I'm not just saying this on this YouTube video. This student this case that I have right now, he is such a loving, energetic, passionate young student. But he has these health issues. He has this disability that we have to figure out. I really want to see him just become the best writer that he can be. Because, and I'm not about to put any of his personal story out there, but he's at a new school. And, he's been having some difficulties even in his first week there. So we're going to have to figure this out. Today he was not able to go to UCLA. I was really looking forward to going on that trip with the class, not to just get paid. By the way, you all can support me by subscribing to my channel. You can Cash App me, Roger Ray 9, or you can Zelle me, or you can even just support me by following my Instagram channel, because I share a lot of resources and events there that kind of give me channels and alternatives to what I have to do as a counselor. And my fellow teachers and counselors know that our work is very much so unstable, right? Because a lot of truth has come out to the forefront for good, not for worse, when it comes to teachers' rights and students' mental health. But yeah, that's why I titled this video that, because it was a literal trip for me, right? That I had to adjust, and other things going on in my life with jobs and just a lot of work overload. Honestly, I think I shared with you before my video ended what I'm doing now, right? You can see this is what I have to do. This is serious stuff. Let alone my teaching cases, right, which is my professional work. But anyway, this video is going on 30 minutes. I think I made my point. Um, let's just treat one another right. You know, you pick up the phone, sending those emails, getting those texts, those group texts, and chats. You know, we were doing a lot of chats with the work. You know, it becomes a lot. It becomes a lot, and I'm a tough guy. Let me just tell you that. For me to do a video and tell you that I've been having a rough week, that will let you know something right there. Because I'm one of the strongest ones out here. I plant trees, quite literally, and I'm not going to stop that work. But we all have to kind of, you know, find that time to do our self coping mechanisms, right? For me, it's music. You guys know me. You see all of my YouTube, all of my Facebook, Instagram, social media accounts. Music is what literally keeps me moving. Shout out to Dr. Thunder. I gotta give the professor his shout out in Ohio State before I end this video. This man, with like so many music teachers out there and music professors that have had a connection to me and coach me. Um, I got to give Dr. Thunder his shout out for what he's been doing on YouTube in the manosphere. I'll probably add you in my description when I can. Um, so just give me some time, everybody. But yeah, environmental protection is emotional protection. And don't you forget it. Y'all peace out. Have a great day.